Ask not what we all be can do for you. Ask what you can do for we all be.
Just in case you guys want to get them. Now, fam, I'm so glad you guys came out, family. I had to come back out here to the St. Louis, Ferguson area. I was out here before when everything went down the first time, and I love the people's energy and the spirit and the tenacity of everybody, so I wanted to come on back out here. Now, family, it's very important to understand, brothers and sisters, that all eyes are on you right now, worldwide. So we cannot lose the momentum that's going on right now, because the world is watching, and the way you handle the situation that's going down in Ferguson is going to set the precedent of how things go with police brutality and systematic white supremacy throughout the country with black folks. You understand that? Yes. So family, we cannot lose momentum. See, the thing is, a lot of the white supremacists, they'll send people down here to say, hey everybody, just calm down, let's all hold hands, let's all get along. Now, we do that after we get justice. And the thing is, family, we also have to understand, and I'm going to get to the question and answers in a minute because I really want to dialogue with the family, but I want to say this very quickly. We need to understand that the situation here is not just about police brutality. This is about systematic white supremacy. Because the thing is, it's the white supremacists who protect the police when they do things like this. It's the mayor that's involved. It's the city council that protects these police officers. It's some of these grand juries who protect these police officers. It's all of these people sending in money to people like Darren Wilson. They sent that man almost $500,000. So that's the whole system that we have to be cognizant of, and we have to learn how to combat that. Now family, I want to give you guys 5 tips or 5 solutions on what we need to do, not just here in this area, but worldwide, nationwide, in order to combat not only police brutality, but protect ourselves from systematic white supremacy. The first thing we need to do, family, we need to start funding our own politicians. Because we talked about that in level 3, as you saw. When we fund our own politicians, we can get them to do our bidding. So we got to learn how to pool our money together and say, this is what we want you to do. We want you to put sanctions on cops who harass people in the community. We want you to earmark certain funds for us to start businesses in our community. We need you to earmark funds for us to start black educational curriculums in our community. Do y'all know the The school systems now, we talked about that in Big Brother Free. Some of these schools, especially down in Texas, that's where they get all the textbooks, that's where they create all the textbooks. They are trying to change the name and change the narrative of history. They're trying to make it seem like all the founding fathers who were slave owners, they're trying to make it seem like they weren't that bad. I just read an article today. They're trying to take the word slave trade out and try to say the Atlantic Triangular Trade. So they're doing a lot of real slick stuff. This is why we do movies like this, to keep the truth out there. So the thing is, it's very important that we fund our own politicians. And the second thing we need to do, family, because right now the white supremacists, they see a window of opportunity. There's a small window of opportunity that the white supremacists see. And this is why we're being attacked. You notice that black people are getting attacked by police officers almost every week now. The reason they're doing this, because they know that with President Barack Obama, he can't really come out and go too hard on the white supremacists who are doing this, because they're going to start labeling him as a reverse racist. They know that if he says anything, they can attack him. So it's a catch-22 situation. If he does something, they'll attack him. If he doesn't say anything, they'll attack us. So they're taking advantage of this window of opportunity. So we got to be very safe out here in the streets. We're going to have to go back to the old school method of walking in twos and walking in groups so that we have witnesses to whatever happens to us. Also, family, you're going to have to start keeping your camera phone on at all times. Every time you see a cop, you need to turn your camera phones on immediately. Take everything or every interaction you have with them. We have a company now where we're working on cameras that you can literally pin to your body or pin to your belt buckle, so you don't have to reach in your pocket, so you can carry it with you at all times, because it's going to get that serious. Now, the third thing we need to do, family, we need to start filing civil suits against a lot of these police officers. Because the thing is, if you start flooding them with civil suits, you're going to inconvenience them like they're inconveniencing us. So they're going to think twice about harassing us. And then when you get these civil suits going, we can network with other brothers and sisters and get class action suits going. This is why we need to correspond with black lawyers out here and start working on that to make the price of white supremacy go up. Because there was a sister in Los Angeles, where I'm from. She was beat up by police officers out there, and this sister got a settlement of almost $2 million. So we're going to make the price of white supremacy go up, so we don't have to wait on the grand juries to file criminal charges. You can easily file civil charges. You don't need a grand jury for that. So the important thing we need to do, and this is one of the most important things, family, we're going to have to create an economic base out here. And we talk about that in the film a lot, create an economic base, because it's one thing to boycott, but you have to replace what you boycott with something else. So you need your own businesses, you need your own communities. You know, the dominant society, when they deal with us, they go into code mode. They have a code that they have with each other. We went down to Sweetie Pie's restaurant earlier today. Great spot, love it. When we ate dinner, we went outside and we looked at our car. There were a lot of flyers from all the other businesses on our car, giving away free food, basically. Free pie, free dinner, free breakfast. And it was obvious that all of these other businesses, because Sweetie Pie is killing them as far as business, they're like snatching business away from them. They're banding together with each other to go against Sweetie Pies. So you see how the other people go into code mode? They look at us as competitors. So we got to start looking at certain businesses as the same thing. See, we get told that we got to be on that kumbaya thing, and we do the kumbaya thing after we get our business together. So it's very important that we get it together, because we have to understand this. When I first came out here, I noticed that the police were protecting the businesses. And that's what police do. Police don't protect people, they protect businesses. Property. The only people that police protect are the police. But they protect businesses, and if you don't have any businesses or properties, you're not going to get any protection. This is why we get attacked by police. Now, the last thing we need to do, family, we need to start recalling and ousting some of these people in government out here. And that's something that we can do now. The mayor, all of these people, I've seen videos of brothers and sisters going to these city council meetings and you're pouring your hearts out to these people and they're sitting there with that smug look on their faces because they know exactly what they're doing. They set it up to create a system of injustice against black people. So you're trying to make a plea to these people and it's falling on deaf ears. So what you need to do is wipe that smug look off their faces and oust them from office, and you have the numbers and the power to do that. How many registered voters do we have here? There you go. Now we got voter registration cards out there in the back. So anybody who's not registered, you can go register right now. Tonight there is no excuse because the elections are coming up. All of these people who are not arresting this officer, they need to be gone by the next election. It's that simple. It's that simple, man. Now, let's get into some questions real quick. Who we got? Who's the first person?
Me.
This is the right here.
Good day. I've been in love with you since '96, that one documentary. But I'm really happy that you're doing this. I pray that this opportunity will come.
Yes,
my question is, we, the people who are in this room, this represents who's interested in this change. How in the hell do we get the ones that are not interested, ready to be complacent, to jump on this bandwagon?
Very good question. And I get that question all the time. And you have to understand this. Sometimes you don't need to bring everybody along with you. Because some people become anchors. They pull you down and you try to pull them up. Everybody in this room, you should be networking with each other before you leave here. How many business owners do we have here? Right there? How many? Okay, so you need a job. How many educators, how many teachers do we have here?
Some be teaching without a degree.
There you go. We all need to be corresponding, y'all need to be giving cards to each other, networking with each other, politicking with other business owners to see what we can do to combine our businesses and work and promote each other. That's one thing that we can do right now. And don't worry about people who just want to sit around and just go along and get along, because they're going to be anchors for us, and we don't need to carry that dead weight at this point. Right now, times are critical, so we need to get people who are right on board. You have to understand this. During the Haitian Revolution, all of the people in Haiti were not on board. You got to understand that there were people who were down to stay in slavery with the French. What happened is when the war got started, the French came in and they didn't pick and choose. They started slicing and dicing everybody. So everybody woke up and did what they had to do. But it started with a very small group of people, and that's all it takes. A small group of people can make a big change as long as you're on the same page and you have a code of conduct and you have the willingness to make that change. Go ahead.
My question goes back to what you just said about the cameras on the body.
Yes.
Aren't there already laws that can dismiss those charges in court or laws doing things of that nature?
No, see, the thing is, the Constitution says you can take cops. If cops tell you you can't take it, that's a lie. You can't. You have every right to take a cop. The thing is, a lot of times if you go in your pocket, they can say, oh, he has a gun or whatever. So that's why I want to have cameras that's already out. You can just click on the button and bam, it's already taken. But it is very legal to take a cop. And it's another thing. In many states, and I think here as well, you don't have to identify yourself to a cop. That's another thing that people probably lie to say. If a cop steps to you and says, give me your identification, you don't have to do anything. You can just keep your mouth shut because you ask them two things. Am I being detained? Am I free to go? If I'm being detained, I'm going to exercise my right to remain silent. You have that right. So you have to use their own laws against them. The thing is, we don't know the law. We get intimidated and pumped out by these cops and we start complying, and that's what gets us in trouble. Right here.
How you doing?
How you doing? Wait, hold on, this girl was just like Kanye West right here. How did Kanye get up in here? Eat some hot Cheetos.
You know, I respect what you're doing. Just like Sister say, you know, you've been doing this for quite some time. My question is, do you think there are any retaliation towards you doing this type of stuff? Because I know half the media is owned by non-black.
Right. Well, yeah, there's retaliation to a certain degree. Like when I go on television, they don't let me talk about stuff like this. I was on CNN a few weeks ago, and I was going to start talking about this. They cut me off so fast, they ran to a commercial. Because when you see people on television, they already kind of know what you're going to say. They prep you, and they kind of know. So when you see somebody shucking a job on television, and the host is there like, oh God, what is he saying? They know exactly exactly what he's going to say. They know exactly what you're going to say when they put you on television. And people like me, they keep that button ready just in case I go left, which I'll be prepared to do a lot of times. But they're ready to cut me off. But that's why we network like this, because we're going to have to start corresponding with each other without the dominant society and mainstream media. We got to go old school. The black folks used to just network amongst each other. That's why they like to keep up divisiveness. We got some older black folks up in here. More mature, not older, but more mature. Back in the day, if a person in St. Louis had a dance, 2 weeks later that dance would be in Los Angeles. We had that type of networking with each other. So the dominant society, they learn how to cut that type of networking off, and we become addicted to a lot of the mainstream media. We're going to have to start corresponding with each other and coming up with our alternative media. Sister right here.
I was going to say, I really appreciate you coming to St. Louis.
Yes, ma'am.
Prominent figure in awakening me and bringing me to a consciousness of what's really going on. My question is about voting. Concerning voting, I know I keep hearing it, and I'm not totally against it. At the same time, I'm not totally for it, because I keep thinking about how Detroit and what happened with them. Once they voted all those black officials onto the board, they took away all the jobs, and Detroit ended up being the predominantly black community that it is, and they elected all those black figures onto the board. They took away the money, and then the city ended up going bankrupt. So it's like, how can we push voting, but at the same time, they still got all these tactics and ways to still get us.
And notice what I said earlier, not only do we need to vote to oust these people, the second thing I said, we need an economic base. That's where the economic base comes in. Because they make it seem like just voting is enough, and voting is not enough. We have to vote and create an economic base, because the dominant society, racism is really about keeping wealth and resources from black folks. Understand that? It's all, at the end of the day, it's about keeping the wealth and resources away from us. So when people come around and say, hey, I like you, I'm not a racist, where's the wealth and resources? Then they get quiet. You understand? So we got to be on a level where we're getting our own wealth and resources. That's the thing that we don't dialogue about. We think that racism is about people not liking us, people being brutal to us, people being mean to us, and that's not what it is. It's about wealth and resources, and that's what we need to concentrate on. And we had it back in the day. We had that before the 1960s. We had our own businesses, we had our own production, we had a whole bunch of stuff, but when we fell for the illusion of integration, because integration, what does that mean? We've always lived next to white people. In slavery, we lived next to white people. We're in their houses. So what is integration? Integration meant, as we said in the movie, basically we got to then spend our money with white people and not circulate that money among ourselves. So a lot of times when I hear black people say, well, I ain't got no money to start a business, I've been out here in St. Louis, Ferguson. I've seen brothers out here with the $2,000 rims. Some of y'all got some $3,000 candy hanging on your car outside. That money can be used on a business or starting a business. It's not that much to start a business. We just got to have the tenacity to do so. And we have money because all of these other businesses are thriving off of you. Right. You understand? That's where they're getting their money from. That's how they're funding the education for their children. People overseas, they see us as a big dollar sign ready to exploit. So we have to start circulating that money among ourselves. We got brother right here.
Hey, Tariq, what's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I came from Chicago, man. You was the best, man. I learned so much stuff from you.
What's the stack? How far Chicago from here?
West side.
Oh, well, how far is that from?
About 300 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 hours.
4 hours?
4.5 hours.
Oh, cool.
So my question is, we had a show about 2 weeks ago about how important it is for blacks to travel.
Yes.
And I'm trying to travel to places like Africa and Brazil, and I don't have too much money really to pay. And I have only like a 3-year degree, so I'm looking at ways how I can travel to like more other foreign black nations.
Yes, indeed, and that's another important thing too. I did talk about that, how important it is for us to travel and network with other people around the world and make connections with people around the world. And you can travel to Africa very easily and in other countries. I talked about this on my show, how you can go and teach English in some of these places. You can get a free trip and free room and board. there's hostels that you can stay at, so there are families that you can stay with. There's a lot of things you can do. I was in Australia, the brother invited me to stay with his family. I didn't need to, but the brother just opened up the door and said, hey man, you can stay with us and have dinner with us, and we'll take care of you. So you'll be surprised how much love black people get from America in other countries. See, we're told by the white supremacists that it's dangerous for us to travel. That ain't true, it's dangerous for them. I've been crazy, I've seen white people get robbed. They ain't giving us a pass. That's why, whenever they get hostages, a lot of folks don't know, whenever they get hostages, American hostages overseas, they let the black ones go. What's that movie with Ben Affleck? Argo. That's based on a true story. Over in Iran, they got those American hostages. One thing they left out the movie, they let the black people go. They said, hey, we sympathize with you. We know how they treat you raggedy over there. These white folks, we tear them up though. So they don't let you know that part of the game. Brother right there.
First of all, I want to commend you on all the income.
Yes, sir.
I absolutely love what you're doing. And I also want to call on the Orishas and the ancestors to protect you.
Yes, sir. I did.
Because I know that what you're doing will become your target.
Yes,
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is, I followed you on your podcast on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stop this stuff with dissing other black folks.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have the Coon series.
Yeah. Let me stop you on that, brother. Let me stop you on that, brother. Let me stop you on that, brother. Hold on. Wait, brother. Sit down, brother. Relax, sit down. I gotta address that, though. Hold on, brother. My brother said, well, you need to stop the Kunda. The thing is, with us, the problem is, we let too many outside agitators come among us and just wallow and mess up the energy. We got to be in a position where we call these people out to get them away from us. That's what's going on. That's what's going on since slavery. That's what's going on since slavery. We let the wrong people come around us and dissipate the energy. Brother, calm down, brother. Okay, brother. If you don't need brother, have a seat, brother. Brother, you don't have to discover, but you gotta have a seat. I understand, but brother, you gotta have a seat. You gotta respect the audience, brother. Brother, you gotta respect the audience, brother. Brother, you gotta respect the audience, brother. You can't just come and overall the whole thing. You gotta respect the audience, brother. Brother, you gotta respect the audience, brother. Brother, you gotta respect the audience, brother. You gotta calm down, brother. Brother, all right, you go. Brother, you gotta respect the audience, brother. You gotta down, brother. There you go. All right. Brother. You go out here, brother. You gotta down. Let's make sure you might have a bomb trap to it. All right, brother. Coming here looking like Paul Weaver over family now. You gotta respect me now as well. Brother, ran up on me like he was gonna do something. Hey, brother, are you gonna hit me with a sandwich? Calm down. All right. This is what I gotta go through sometimes, man. Sister there, how you doing, sister? Yes, ma'am.
What is the ways you think to get children more involved in, recognizing racism and how to deal with it effectively, as opposed to being suspended for 30 days and all that?
Yes, indeed. Man, that's a great question. We need to start our children very young.
Yes.
We need to start teaching them about systematic white supremacy. A lot of times we're scared to teach them about that because it's something that we see as negative and we don't want to poison their minds. So what happens is that they pick it up by the white supremacists. They feel that energy when they go to school and the teacher is singling them out over other children. So we need to let them know why that is happening. This is why we got brothers like Umar Johnson, who's excellent at breaking that down. Great brother. You should check that out. So we need to start our children young. So we need to teach our children how to come back. We got one here. Hey brother, how you doing?
What's up?
Go ahead, brother. Stand up. Speak up a little bit, brother.
What's up? I would say one thing benefiting what you're doing is putting the information out there. Prepare it, moving forward. You all spread that knowledge.
Yes, indeed.
Talk about it. Make it a topic of discussion while you're with your friends. Make this something that is a passion to you, because this is something we all well aware know that's been taken from us. So it needs to be one thing in life that you're chasing is this knowledge. So I commend you with that, but also with that, I do kettlebell workouts. I got the Zumba instructor right here. There's people in this building right now who do positive things.
Yes.
Network before you leave. Shake hands with everybody.
Absolutely.
Make that what's going on. Please network.
Absolutely.
Kettlebell, Zumba. I know he works at the college. That brother is helping. I see some guys that I know in here. Please network.
Absolutely. Before y'all leave, man, if we go out the side of the lobby, start chopping up game with everybody, and find out who does what, how you can network with them, how you can work with them, that's what we need to do. It starts here, and it starts about getting a code. We got to get a code of conduct, and we're going to work with each other and build our community. We're not going to look for outsiders to do it for us, because they're not going to do it for us. Other people are competing with us. Brother right here.
We got one over here.
Okay, I get you next. I get you next. Brother in the hat.
I have more than a comment. My comment is all the people who are on your video.
Yes, sir.
I think everybody should watch the YouTube of all the people.
Yes.
Because that's what a lot of the information is. Some of the people on like Phil Valentine, you got videos like 20, 30 years old.
Oh, yeah.
That knowledge is in there, so you be able to
And that's absolutely true. That's why I wanted to do the movie Hidden Colors there, because you got a lot of these scholars who've been around for a long time, and I've been fans of their work, and a lot of folks just this generation didn't know about it. So I thought it was very important to put these people on the big screen and really put them out there with the information, because they're excellent teachers, number one, and the information is so pertinent, and a lot of us just don't know it. Some of us do know it, but the information has never been out on a grand scale, and I wanted to put a lot of money into this series to get it on out there. I'm glad that the film series is taking off. Back here.
It's your turn.
How'd you feel when you're done with the video?
Excuse me? One more
How'd
time.
you feel?
When you finish the video. Finish the video.
Oh, when I finished the video, I felt good about it. I felt good when everything was complete, because it's a long process to do these movies. Usually it takes about a year to do them, and you shoot them, that takes a while, and then the editing takes a while, and then we have to get all the pictures and images cleared. And a lot of the information that you saw in the movie, that stuff is literally hidden. We have to go to museums and then get releases, and people are asking why are we looking for this information, because this stuff is like buried, and that's why we never hear about it. So we did a lot of research, and a lot of time and energy goes into these movies, and when they're done, I'm pretty exhausted, but the final product is all worth it. Brother White Church.
All right, almost about to get tired. Anyway, how you doing, man? I'm a newly found fan. I'm an independent filmmaker from St. Louis. I do a Block DVD hip-hop series. I'm responsible for a lot of the music videos that's on YouTube with the gangbangers with oozes in your face, and just in the urban area, bringing life to, I guess, people that wouldn't even see it without watching some of these videos. So, with that being said, I've shot the majority of the 95% of the videos in St. Louis with the gangbangers, with the real killers of St. Louis. So I was approached by City Hall and some of your local leaders to go back into these war zones to tell these guys with their guns, okay, can we get you to say put the guns down? So I felt that at that particular time, with my local, I guess, my local fame, that they were trying to use me to bring about a better and a bigger agenda that I had no idea that they were trying to do. So with your films, it's like inspiring me to really want to do some stuff like that you're doing. I just shot two short films that's on YouTube.
Okay, what's the name of the film, by the way?
One is Opportune Killing. It's about stalking, and it's about stalking, and I'm trying to prove a point on every film. Then the other one is salute to East St. Louis. And I talked about the East St. Louis race riots that no one knows about, that people were being of color, being dumped into the Mississippi River. It was a massive race riots of I think 1940s.
Yeah, I remember that. That was about really the labor thing, because the white supremacists, the black people were coming in, and that goes back to what I said, keeping black people from resources, because black people were coming over here busting those strikers up, getting those jobs, and then the white supremacists started lynching black folks.
So my question to you is, what type of advice can you give me being a filmmaker and want to make a difference in the way that you are? I know I would be stopped or probably be hesitant of doing certain things. What kind of advice can you give me to give me motivation to keep going?
Just what you do, man, is really find out what the people really want to see and find the voice of the people. Really talk with the people out here to find out what they want to see and what their voice is. That's why I like to correspond and chop up game with the family to get a vibe and a feel of what's out there in the community. And then articulate that voice for the community with your films. And people can respect the realness of that. And if you do that, you'll find your audiences and other people around the country when they feel that they have the same thing in common with brothers and sisters out here in St. Louis, Ferguson. We can relate, we can make your films a success as well. So thank you so much, brother. Oh, yeah. Sister right here. Hey, sister.
I wrote you after I had looked at all 3 hidden colors like within 3 days. I'm gonna tell my age here. I'm like 40. I didn't know half.
You look good for 40.
Oh, 40. I'm 40.
Oh, okay.
So, being that age, I was pissed off at myself because I didn't take the time to learn all of that stuff. You know, I was like, I didn't know half of this stuff, and I didn't even know when I went to a black college. Some of the stuff I didn't know. I felt stupid then, and then I'm like, I'm listening to your movie, I'm like, I'm mad because I knew the school system that taught me the stuff was wrong, you know, and I'm like, well, we need to start educating our own.
Yeah,
we really do. And my other question is, since I'm from Ferguson, there are a lot of protesters out there. I was one of them. The thing is, we know we need to get those people out of office, but we don't have any more viable candidates to put in office. We don't know who to put in there.
Now, she's making a good point. She's making a good point because I've talked to politicians out here too, and one of the complaints they said, well, we don't know who to replace these folks with. So that's another very important thing. We're going to have to bring people and find somebody who can get in office to replace all these people. So that's a very important task. It's easy right now to oust these people, but you got to replace them with somebody. So you don't want to put another white supremacist in there. So who are you going to put in there? So it's very important. You got to
research.
But you got to research who's politically inclined.
But they've asked a couple of people and they don't want the job. I can't run because I'm not planning on being in St. Louis in the next year.
Right.
So
that's the thing. We got to find brothers and sisters who's willing to step up out here and take that role and say, okay, I'm going to represent the community. So that's a very easy task once we find the person. Again, we can take out the mayor and the city council, all of those people, but we got to find some viable people to replace them with. So that's why it's important to network to see if we're on the same page and the same agenda. Right there, brother.
Shot, by the way, I'm not really much of a Christian anymore. The last church I went to, the pastor was a former black nationalist.
Okay.
And some of the things I was being preached in that church really made me wake up because some of those things were African slavery was great for us. And because of that, I left that church.
What did he say? What?
Literally allowing people in that church, not even specific, people in that church were saying things like slavery was good for us. That made me go crazy.
Yeah, you got some sweet people out here, man. There's some people out here. White supremacy is a disease. It is a disease, and when you have white supremacy hitting you up from the day you're born, that's all you're seeing nonstop. You turn on television, you turn on the radio, you're getting a form of white supremacy. It can disease your brain if you don't know how to combat it. That's the thing, we got to know how to counter that, and that's what the hidden color films are for, to combat that.
What I'm trying to speak to is that we contradict ourselves. We watch films like Hidden Colors 3, we don't put in any work. We watch it, we nag about it, we complain, but we don't stop buying from white business owners.
Right.
I was white people. They own planes, they have Mercedes in their sophomore years. And with black kids, they had nothing but shoes. We don't do anything, but we don't have any skills. So until we stop, I'm not saying stop watching Hidden Colors, but until we stop being complacent, we're not going anywhere.
That's why it's all about, I agree with that. And that's why your church is over this. We got to keep speaking speaking this into our people. It has to be repetition. We got to just keep speaking it, so that it will catch on, so it'll become normal. That's why we have 3 hit color series. We're working on another one now. We got to speak this into you. Because white supremacy is repetition. That's how white supremacy works. White supremacy, when you look at certain things, the logic in it is just ridiculous. They got a movie now, and a lot of the international press is criticizing me for criticizing this movie. They got a movie coming out in December called Exodus, where they got African queens played by Honoree. Christian Bale is playing Moses. The dude from Breaking Bad, Jesse, is playing an African pharaoh. So I was dumping all over that movie. But the thing is, how ridiculous that is, if they keep putting that type of stuff out there and just keep saying the Egyptians were white, the Africans were white, the Africans were white, sooner or later you start saying, okay, I guess they were white. When logically, that makes 0 sense. There were no Europeans in Africa at that time. They wouldn't look like Sigourney Weaver and Jesse at that time. But if they keep saying it using repetition, you start believing the lie. So it's all about getting the right repetition of the truth. So then that will catch on, and then we can start taking action. Sister right there.
Like you were speaking earlier, that sometimes when you're on the news and the reporters can already, understand what you get ready to say before you say it. Just like you zoned in on this young man, you knew what he was going to say before he said it. Can you just elaborate on the point that you were trying to make on where he was trying to go? I'm really interested.
Yes. Well, we're talking about people, and we talk about this in the film too. Talk about black people who are used by the dominant society to infiltrate and to sabotage other black folks. The first job that paid in America for black people was snitching and throwing other black folks under the bus. That was the first job in America that white people had for black folks. There has always been a position for black people to throw other black folks under the bus. That's why when you turn on TV, you can see the Larry Elders and all of these people throwing black folks under the bus, and they will give them a platform. Understand, the white supremacists give them a platform. They give them a platform. So that's why I don't criticize Larry Elder and those people too much, because it's the white supremacists who are giving him that form. That's why we joke about Larry. He's a joke. I'm concerned about the white supremacists who's backing him. That's who I get on. I laugh the coons off. They're jokes. That's why we don't take them seriously. Having a serious debate with them when they're being paid to say crazy stuff to us so that we don't attack the white supremacists, I laugh them off and I get on the white supremacists. Pink colors, that's attacking the white supremacists and the white supremacist mindset. Brother right here. Got that shirt on. Show me about this shirt, fam. That's that no justice shirt. Yes, indeed.
We got a chance to chop it up in Chicago. A brother came early, kind of helped out with stuff.
Yes, indeed.
And I wanted to ask you for this because I'm just not really good at following everything and just everything that I've been backing us. I've just been on it.
Yes, sir.
And I want to ask you your opinion on this because with the whole hands up situation, with the whole hands up, do you see that as a passive way for us to be in the same position that put our brother Mike Brown got killed for that? We up here talking about put our hands up when we should be putting up our arms up, we should be putting up our economic game up, we should be putting up our, coming together. So do you even see that as a way, because like in some of your past, you said we kind of be on some scared stuff, back in the day they be back in the tavern, they talk that shit, they don't really be on that whole hands up thing. It's like, you see, that's what got my brother killed, you know what I'm saying?
But, very good question. See, what we need to do both. See, what we need to do is work as teams. We got one group of people out here with their hands up and they're out in the street because that gets the media. That's right. Because you got people over in China with their hands up in there. They're feeling it. That's what I said. You got people around the world who sympathize with us. So we need the brothers out there in the streets symbolically showing, okay, hey, we're out here representing for our brothers because that's what we get the media. And what we need behind the scenes, brothers out here getting the business in order. Right. Getting these businesses started, y'all electing or finding somebody who's going to be a viable candidate, that's another thing we need to be doing. So we need to do all of that. Instead of just everybody marching, it has to be a whole team effort. So that's a very good question, brother. Let's take a couple more questions and we'll sign some stuff. I need some good ones. Who got some good questions?
Right here.
You got a good. You don't look like you got a good one. You got to be like Carl Winslow when you show up. Go ahead, brother. Where you from, Dustin?
I'm from St. Louis.
There you go.
Been here my whole life. First time I saw In Colors
Yes, sir.
was about when I was a freshman in high school, and I also was watching like a Cabo High Watch.
Yes.
And blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get on what's important. Okay. I'm a graphic designer.
Okay.
And I plan on building a black business pamphlet brochure in
Okay.
St. Louis, and maybe even expand it. So I just want to let you know and let everyone know over here. My name is Justin Harris on Facebook. I want you to find me so that when Justin Harris on Facebook. I want you to find me so when I put this in place, all you all can see it, and you can go to these businesses. We got a lot of businesses in St. Louis. You know, we got Progressive Point, North Sarah. We got the Brown Bay Institute. Also in the city, you know, we got the African Depot, we got African businesses that we can connect with, and also on regards to the food path that Ms. Sherazade Ali was talking about.
Yes.
We have, you know, after the African Depot, we got many other African grocery stores in St. Louis that we can support, start supporting and ask them to get these things.
Absolutely, that's very cool. Yes, indeed.
So just remember me, just Harris on Facebook. I'm finishing up the pamphlet. It's been a long time coming. I've been working on it and I sped it up because of what recently happened. So it's going to be 3 parts. First part is going to be a brochure, 3-part brochure. Second part is going to be a 4-part.
Okay.
Third part is going to be a full hour.
Brothers, you give us a Gettysburg Address on We're going to go to your website, though. Again, what's the website one more time?
Just Facebook for right now. I got to get funded for this.
There you go. We're going to go to your site. Who we got? Sister in the white shirt.
Okay, I have a question. I just attended a forum on Place Matters, and this group Beyond Housing is there talking about how they're going to redevelop Belmore, Pine Lawn, and all these places that only poor people can live in. You can't make over $40,000 or whatever and live in this area. And it's just hard for me to understand how that's going to survive, because the only people that are going to make the money are the developers who are building. And so how do we not buy into saying, hey, we're going to move all you poor people to this area?
So that's the greatest thing is when the white supremacists come to us saying, hey, we're going to help you. Always know that there's going to be a backbite to that. That's an old trick. They will get you into those housing projects, start policing you just like they're doing over here, beat you up, beat you down, make it crime-ridden, take all the wealth and resources out so everybody's fighting, and then we end up blaming ourselves. So we don't need to go for that trick no more. The thing is, a lot of these white supremacists, they work hand in hand. You have the conservatives and you have the liberals. They're one of the same coin. See, they go out here and start saying, well, the blacks out here on welfare, they need to get jobs, what's wrong with them? Do you know they make money off of black people on welfare? Those Section 8 houses, they make a grip off that. You know, Donald Shirley, he's all that black this and black that. He made a lot of money off black folks in the slum or whatever in Los Angeles. You know how much money they make off those EBT cards? Chase Bank owns those EBT cards. They make a grip off that. So they sit around and complain about black people getting welfare and all that, but they make a grip off of black people on welfare and Section 8 housing and all that. So don't let them fool you with all of that rhetoric. That's why we just got to get our own economic base so we don't have to go back and forth with them. We can just do what we do and create our own communities like we used to do. Back then. Hey, sister, how are you, love?
Good. I'm excited. I went out today and purchased all 3 of your movies.
Yes, indeed. Where'd you get them? Where'd you get them?
Here.
Oh, I'm about to say that. They look like bootlegs. I'm about to get you. Good.
My question to you is, I know you're working on number 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, are you thinking about doing a conference because you have a lot of socially conscious people now?
Yes.
I was thinking that, I would love to be a part of something as far as a movement doing something.
Absolutely. We are thinking about doing that. We're going to do something at the Apollo a couple of years ago for the first year of Colors, but I had a problem with so many stores bootlegging the movie, we had to put that on hold, but we are going to put together a Hidden Colors conference, so that's going to be coming real soon because a lot of people have been asking about that. Let's get one more question, and then we'll start signing stuff. We'll have everybody come on up. Who got a good one? Let's run it right here.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Smith, we talked earlier.
Yes, indeed.
All right, good deal. Part of it was the Ferguson situation, and you brought it up about the recall.
Yes.
And, sister did too, and I don't think you should take that lightly. Even though there may not be a candidate, this is after further research after we talk.
Yes.
I think how Ferguson is set up now, if there's a recall of the mayor, the next person steps up. Well, you might get somebody from the same camp, but you flexed your muscle, and people got to see what you can do. That's a tangible gain. That's something you can see, as opposed to everybody just kind of sitting back. I'm curious to know how many people from Ferguson are actually in here.
Yo, where is Ferguson around there? We got you.
Right. You all have to keep on it. Another thing that's been happening in Ferguson is you've had some of these groups come in, some religious, some nonprofits. They're paying people rent, giving them food, trying to subdue the movement, you know, and get it off. And the movie talked about that. You got people that'll come in. So we got to keep our eye on the prize, and not get these trinkets.
Yes.
You know, I ain't gonna say the other word.
Yes, so what district are you in?
Well, actually, you all are in the 85th district. So I'm right here. I'm just south of Ferguson. But I just want to thank you for coming here, spreading this knowledge, and keep on with the movement.
Yes, indeed. Much respect, man. All right, man.